realistic.
So if you want to help out, I suggest
Find a serious organization.
yeah.
Me personally, honestly, I was about to give a bunch of clothes, brand new clothes, and also something that's before I mentioned that some people.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Which is
Well, let me finish that thought
Yeah.
so people can follow us. Some people give some clothes that you wouldn't give your fucking dog. So thank you so much for being here. We have been away for a while. We took a little break due to work and busy schedules. But we are back, and this is another day in paradise. Thank you, Reda, for being here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be back.
We are. We had a very special event last Friday night.
Indeed.
We had an earthquake in Morocco. Thank you for my friends who have been checking on me. A lot of people I work with overseas. I work for a French company, so they checked on me. It felt really good. And a lot of friends, of course, in the US checked on me. Where were you when this happened?
Well, actually, I was out with a few friends having dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
In
casual
Rabat, right?
Friday night, and at 11 p.m.
15, something like that. Yeah,
11:15.
yeah.
Well, so I personally I had this friend next to me that told me like I have this bad habit of always like moving my feet.
Oh yeah, like okay.
And he was like, "Bro, can you stop? Like you're shaking,
Like fidgeting, like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
like this. Yeah, yeah.
He told me like you're shaking the whole table. And I was like, I'm not moving, and basically the whole place was moving. I felt it a lot less, I think, than major people, the majority of people, because for me, I literally almost feel nothing. I didn't hear any, plates or glasses.
Breaking or whatever. Yeah.
Not even breaking, even just shaking.
Shaking,
Like I
yeah,
did,
yeah.
like there wasn't that sound and stuff. So, but people felt it. We went outside and then we heard the news that
So this was in Rabat, right?
yeah,
Just so
in
people
Rabat
know,
and a few hundred kilometers down south.
things were different for sure, for sure.
Definitely.
So
How about you? Where were you?
I was actually home, so not far from your restaurants. Actually, maybe 20 minutes from your restaurant or 15. And
Mhm.
so clearly in Rabat, the situation was very different from the south. We will go over that in a few seconds. But I came back from a bike ride late at night. I like to do that. The city is beautiful, very quiet, so I like to do that. I came back at 11.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped in the shower really quickly, and maybe 2 minutes before the earthquake, I was just, with my towel, fixing something to eat so I could go back and finish drying out and then changing and then having the food ready.
Mhm.
And then it started shaking. So I have the habit of having like loud music following me everywhere. And when it started shaking, I thought somebody was knocking at the door very, very heavily. And I'm like, oh my God, my super is again busting my balls about music or whatever. And then I paused the music to double check if it was, and then everything started shaking. It lasted maybe, I would say 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
Yeah,
It
probably.
was very
around that.
short. To be honest, I felt it. I'm on the second floor. It was, by the time I realized it was an earthquake, those 15 seconds lasted a long time. It felt like a long time. I started thinking about, okay, I think I should get under a table maybe, or maybe it's going to intensify. I don't know. Let me and then I have a glass table in the living room.
Did
So
you think right away, oh, it's an earthquake?
No. It took me, like, by the time I realized it was an earthquake and I started moving towards this studio here where there is like a big heavy wooden table I was gonna tuck under it, it was already over. So
Yeah.
the last 3-4 seconds, by the time I walk here, it was like over, and I'm like, okay. And I hear people like leaving and going outside. So I left, I went downstairs, and the ambiance was very much, people were a little bit scared, but not really, to be honest. People were like, "Oh, this was something, huh? Oh, this was something. Yeah, I was sleeping, I was doing this, I was watching TV, and then things." But it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, and there wasn't any, signs of damage or anything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
people were,
I think in Rabat it was like you said, like a big thunder, like nothing crazy.
yeah.
But your dad was down south, right?
Yeah,
So how did
exactly.
he felt? He was in Marrakesh, right?
He was in Marrakesh. He felt it. I'm guessing, way more than us.
Yeah.
But even him, he didn't. When I spoke to him, he didn't particularly feel like it was a big earthquake.
But your dad is a pretty chill guy. I don't. It would take a lot to shake him up, really, literally. Like I
No,
think so, right? Like he
yeah,
wouldn't panic,
no,
really.
he's not. He's not a like your average
Yeah.
Moroccan because Moroccans are very proud to panic. But um, we had the experience with my family of living an earthquake back in Algiers in
Yeah.
2004, I think.
So how was that
And
different from this one?
well, I can only speak from my perspective, and I guess my father's one because we talked about it. But basically, the one in Algiers was, I think, 8 point something.
This one was
8.2.
7 out of
Yeah.
9 in the scale of Richter. Yeah. Or Richter,
And
whatever you call it.
and we were only like 10 miles away from the epicenter.
Yeah.
So like that one, you couldn't stand. You couldn't stand.
Yeah.
Basically, like the ground was shaking so much that you couldn't even stand. So like things move, and it lasted way longer. I think like a little under a minute, and I think once you kind of lived that, it kind of sets your
Perspective, I
uh,
guess.
your perspective, and also the way, like on the scale of like how, like the difference between a 7 and 8 or a 6 and a 7 and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just like proportional. It's more about like the damages it can cause, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when you're in Rabat, basically, which is 400 kilometers, I think, from the epicenter,
Yeah.
we really felt a small earthquake.
Yeah, like the aftermath. It was
Yeah.
like yeah.
Back in Marrakesh, which was very, very heavy, and also it's a city it's one of the cities, imperial cities of Morocco. A lot of very old constructions done with like clay and stuff like
traditionally
that.
built, etc.
Exactly, a lot of landmarks that are built that way, and so when something like this hits,
It's
the damages
it's the
are,
historical tragedy, right? Yeah.
no, it's a historical tragedy, but it's also very fragile. Like it's not built to sustain earthquakes.
No, but what I mean is also like it's almost like art. So
Of
if you
course,
break the
of
art,
course.
it's not like a
Of
regular
course.
building that you can rebuild. Like it's
Yeah.
it's gone forever. So yeah, it was a tragedy.
But one of the beautiful things that I think came out of this was the solidarity and from Moroccans within the country and outside. Like
Sure.
it's crazy how much people want to do and get involved to help in this manner.
Yeah.
Even people that usually don't, like
Really, who usually
like
doesn't.
I have friends that never heard them even say, "Oh, let's go give food to a homeless guy."
Sure.
They're like moving
Let's do
all
something,
around
yeah.
and gathering clothes, gathering food, gathering a lot of stuff, and it's
I
quite
think there was-
beautiful.
It was beautiful. I think tragedies like those, they bring the best and also the worst of people. Let's talk about the best first, because let's not start by being negative. We haven't we haven't podcasted in a while.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it positive, and then we'll finish with a bang. But it was, people were very, very generous. You see that everywhere. Like you walk around in the streets and you see people collecting clothes and tents, etc. And you also see that on social media. Social media are like now heavily. The content is heavily oriented towards like helping people shooting videos showing you the situation there, that the roads are closed, etc. I have a friend actually who lives in those areas. So something interesting to notice also is that it's not really in Marrakesh. It's like
it's a
outside
house.
the small villages outside of Marrakesh. So like, so I heard some people saying like a theory saying that people are saying it's Marrakesh because our enemies are saying it's Marrakesh because they want to kill tourism in Marrakesh, etc. But Marrakesh is doing great, etc. I heard that also from Jamel
Mm-hmm.
Debbouze, who is like a very famous French comedian, French Moroccan comedian,
Yeah.
and he said like Marrakesh is great, and I think the worst thing that can happen to Morocco is that it would kill tourism and people would
Mm.
cancel their reservations. Please don't. It's 100% safe. Those small villages, we are trying to help them as much as possible, but Morocco is safe now. Don't worry about it. Don't cancel, please. Don't kill
Yeah,
the
like
economy.
the worst already happened.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But like the damage is like
no,
Marrakesh is not damaged to the
no, no,
point
no.
where it cannot sustain like tourism. Like I think it's almost like unscathed, but outside is
Yeah,
obviously a
it's
different
very
story.
light damages.
Yeah,
Like even when it looks like I've seen houses where like windows broke or stuff. Like it's still minor. Like it's
yeah,
not. It doesn't touch the integrity of the structure of
yeah, yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So roughly, I don't have the latest numbers, but I think roughly 2,000 deaths.
Yeah.
Um, it's obviously a big number, but let's go now to the meaty part of this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and of course this is only me, but the the whole content on social media,
Mm.
the whole mess around it to gather. We need tents, we need covers, we need this, we need. Please don't bring bread; it will rot before we get
Mm-hmm.
there, etc. I feel like it's a little bit disproportionate.
Well,
Like it's too much.
I think there's multiple factors to take in. I agree with the general idea, right? Like I think that Morocco is in a state where after the World Cup, especially,
Mm.
the people united. The Moroccan identity is even more important. People feel more attached to their country, and the world knows about Morocco. It's not like
Yeah,
that small country
sure,
that
sure.
nobody knows now. And I think that after that event and still having this, like anything that touches that, like there's that unity that is actually very real. Um, that people felt when like they felt touched and stuff, and a lot of people are riding the wave. Let's
Yeah,
not get that wrong,
for sure.
but I think like even myself, I've seen there was a football game of Morocco
Yeah.
like a couple of days after
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in France.
We won 1-0.
Yeah, man, like the stadium and how people you feel there's a special relationship
There is
with
a
the country
special vibe,
today.
for sure, for
And
sure.
I think that translated a lot in people wanting to do stuff, and with social media when they see people like average people, not like celebrities or people that are organized associations, but people doing things, everyone wants to get involved and stuff, and it's kind of like the topic of the moment.
True, true. But do you think like it's like you said? What I mean by like it's too much. Of course, help is always necessary, but we don't know how much help exactly they need. You don't know exactly what they need. For me, I think I feel like it's messy. It's not
No,
organized.
what is 100% confirmed is that one, it's not organized, and two, it makes a lot more damage than good.
Mm.
Because what what people don't show a lot on social media is that most roads and stuff are blocked by vans and stuff that are trying to get stuff to them but aren't equipped to.
Mm.
So when the real help comes, like all the roads are blocked. Like
Yeah.
they had to dump trucks and cars on the side of the road, like
Yeah.
to get through, because like firefighters and stuff, they have trucks that can go
Exactly,
through. But like when
exactly.
you come with your small
Minivan
sedan
and you
stuff,
want
and
to-
you want to go through roads that
Yeah.
are broken, that's the first thing. Second thing is that most people that are touched by this are in very small villages, secluded areas and
yes.
stuff that people don't even know how to locate.
Yeah.
And people, I think, don't understand what they need.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's a
Because
lot of wasted
there is
energy.
there is the immediate relief. The
Mm.
immediate relief comes from we never had a big problem of hunger in Morocco or things. People are, there is solidarity and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
what people, the first thing is that we need to get people out of the rubbles and things like that. That's the first layer, which is like the immediate. Of course, then you need to have a temporary solution where they can sleep, where
They
how
can
to
be
feed
fed,
them,
etc.
etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
But then there is how do you rehabilitate everything that was lost, like reconstruct was the houses. A lot of people lost their their source of income. Cattle probably died a lot,
Yeah.
etc. So it's the help is on the long run, and people tend to think that if I buy a box of sardines and send a sweatshirt, that will make a difference. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you need to understand the problem and not take matters into your own hands. There's the foundation Mohammed Sank
Yeah.
that actually started telling people don't go help. We
Mm.
have a center. Come give us. We'll handle the stuff
Yeah.
because ultimately you're doing more damage than
The
good.
the logistic of it was very
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, this is a good good intentions but bad execution, I
Exactly.
guess, and that's a big problem. And I think we need like the government or somebody who has like an organization that has like
Mm-hmm.
power and aura to say, okay, let's just center everything here and put a website. That's a website that's available all the time.
Yeah,
This is what we need. This is what we need. Bring them here. These are the centers. You can bring them there, and
definitely. And you can help with funds.
yeah,
Like without getting into all that.
for sure.
The Mohammed Sank Foundation took the lead, as you said.
Yeah,
We refused some international help,
which created a very big political
especially the one from
France's,
France,
yeah, France's one,
which
yeah. Made a
I
big
guess
mess,
the
right?
politics took it very, very badly.
Yeah,
A lot of big debate on what that meant and what were the intentions, or is it a way to say "fuck you, France"?
yeah. And is it a way
Uh,
to say like sometimes they treated like the Moroccan government as being irresponsible because like you
mm,
clearly need help and because of your ego you're refusing help but your people are dying. Well, not really. I mean, like we said, I think we got plenty of help. I think,
no,
but
especially
anyways,
we need the right help.
true, true.
Especially with this, like there are countries like I'm guessing Yemen that suffer from world hunger, malnutrition, whatever. There's never enough help. Here, the case is a bit different. You need to know how to help. Like
Mm.
if someone is in pain or doesn't have a house, or things like that.
Yeah.
You can't just come and give a simple solution.
Give them a flat screen TV. That's not
Exactly.
what they need. They
And
need
I
something else.
remember,
Yeah.
I think it was Ukraine. A lot of people had that movement of let's help you Ukraine and
Mm.
stuff. And at the end of the conflict, well, the end, not the end, but at some point,
Yeah.
there were mountains and mountains of clothes and stuff that nobody touched because like they were like picking only like the
Yeah.
brands and
Only
stuff
like the good ones. Yeah.
because like that's not what was needed and
Yeah.
food that went bad and stuff. So
True, true. Like we need to organize good intentions,
exactly.
bad execution. I think that's the big problem. That's what I noticed here. Now let's talk about the ugly. Like I said, it
Mhm.
brings the best of
Yeah,
humanity, those kind of tragedies, but it also brings the ugliest part of us.
yeah,
Um, some people flat out pretended to be associations,
yeah,
and you load up their truck and they go and they store it somewhere. They'll wait for everything to finish and then they'll start selling all those shit. And sometimes
yeah.
they said, I heard some influencers saying, and we'll talk about them because I love those guys. They I'm not gonna miss them. I'm coming back for you. I'm circling back. Wait, hold tight. They said that they witnessed
Mhm.
that and that they are trying to think about a solution and they're saying maybe we should every time you give like a shirt or whatever, try to give it like some kind of print or like a mark to show that it's not meant to be sold. So in case you find it being sold in the market or whatever, you can try to track back the people who sold it to you, etc.
Mhm.
I think it also logistically it's just really bad because you will give somebody something and you will say, oh, this is a donation, watch out, and he will wear it. Oh, this is a
Yeah.
donation. I don't think it's a good idea. I think just some people are just greedy assholes, and
And look,
it's very hard to fight against them.
I work in charity,
Mm.
and everything you say is so true. We see a lot of people actually, because of what happened, we decided not to run any campaigns on this specific. Even though I'm from Morocco, there's way too many scams and stuff
Yeah.
related to this, and plus, like, we're not able to give the help that's actually needed. We can help with funds to direct you to other uh, associations, but that's the thing. Charity is very ugly, very very ugly.
Why are charities an easy target for scammers?
Well, it's simple. Like people, you're just taking advantage of people that have a good heart, and unfortunately, this is what I always we tried many things, but at the end, like you can only help. Maybe it's gonna go the right way, maybe not. But like if you start thinking uh of all those scams and stuff, you're just gonna end up not helping, and a lot of people
So
will
you
suffer from it.
just have good intentions, and then the
You don't
rest
have
is
no
out of your
you have
hands.
no choice because these scammers, they're as organized online as, or sometimes even better, to be
Mhm.
honest. They have proof of live footage. They have people on the ground wearing the association stuff.
Yeah.
Like the scam is
Very
very
elaborated. Yeah.
elaborated, and I run a lot of ads to collect funds for different causes and stuff like that. And I can tell you this: like, if you don't have a high moral compass,
Mm. It's very easy to
man,
to be
it's
rich.
like the conversion on a child looking at the camera saying, uh, uh, I'm suffering or something like
Mm.
that is immediate. Like no one can look at that and have money in his account and be like, nah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the conversion rate is really
it's
high. Yeah,
really
yeah,
high. So
really
like
high.
just to give you an order of, like, if you invest $1,000, let's say, into ads using, I don't want to give the recipe
No,
to
no,
people,
just be.
but like using like footage and stuff and having a website that looks great and stuff, you can probably make the same amount of your initial investment per day.
So
Like
you can double it every day.
every day,
Mm.
of course.
Mm. Yeah, that's the scary parts. And we heard a lot of stories about even big associations,
Yeah.
big charities being scammed, sometimes by the organizers, etc. I don't want to name names because I'm not.
And it's
I don't know the specifics, but it's very common.
no,
Very
it's
very
very common. The amounts that actually go towards helping people are very low. One thing that people don't realize is that it costs a lot to actually have uh, a charity, like having people on the ground,
Mhm.
like having people, admins, stuff like that. But and within the charity itself, as a charity, we get scammed a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
times.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
people on the ground because there's no backing systems, there's no tracking. So sometimes you just find someone that can help. You can equip them or send them money, and one day they just disappear,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, yeah.
people's money that goes. So at the end, you can only try your best, but it's very very hard because and you always need to question yourself, like you're responsible for like doing good in the name of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. I know we mentioned that in one of our podcasts called "Don't Save Africa" or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Don't help Africa, like because
You see
a
the
lot
best
of
and the worst of
you see
people.
the
Yeah,
best and the worst, and when people use some certain type of keywords, or like you said, like a child half
hmm
naked in the deserts of Gambia or whatever, saying I'm thirsty, and people just like, oh my
yeah,
god, he's thirsty, I'm helping him, we're gonna build a well. Sure, go ahead. But in reality, you're not really sure where this money is going. Now, what would you recommend people to, like you said before, you can only check so much, you can only be sure so much about where your money is going. So would you still encourage people to help
of course, it makes a huge difference either way. But I would always say this. Unless you're targeting very precisely who you're helping, I would suggest to help financially rather than doing actions and stuff. Like if you don't know that in this village there are this numbers of children and we're gonna get them like school supplies and stuff. Like some associations say, oh, it's school time, so let's get a lot of stuff. They don't even know who needs it, and sometimes they find a
But if
couple
you
of
give
people.
money, it's just that much easy to scam. You know, like
That's the thing. You give money, and then you need to give your trust as well.
That's true.
And there are like there are like
Some charities that are
hints
more. Yeah.
some
Oh,
hints
okay,
of
okay.
like if us for example, we started this charity just like to help out and stuff, and then we learned the actual business of a charity, like giving regular updates, because it's one thing to show you the kid starving to death and stuff, but everyone that actually helps that kid gets an update where they actually see the kid that was almost
follow-up,
on the very edge, you see him like a few months later, he's healthy, he's laughing and stuff, and that kind of like encourage you to do more. Like when we send updates usually to people, they're like, okay, so let's do even more and more and more. And
That's a good point. Yeah, you need to see the results. Like
and communicate in general, because basically you're working for them.
yeah. So you need to be
so-
transparent. Yeah.
So like any email that comes in and say, hey guys, how do I know you're spending my money? It's your responsibility to actually ease that person and find a way to like get her to see it. Like
trust
we
you,
had
yeah.
we had some telling me, okay, send us a picture of people on the ground with 3 fingers like this and
Okay.
stuff like that, like our big donors and stuff like that. That were like,
Sure.
yo, weird, weird request.
Abdullah, listen, my man, you gotta do this. Don't ask me a question. Just
Two fingers. No, but sometimes that's what it takes. But
it's their right. I think they, if they are big donors, like you said, or even small donors, everybody has the right to know
of
where their
course,
money is
like,
going. And I
it's
told the
important.
story, about Starbucks, where charities are often used to. It's not illegal, but it's just like deceiving. Where Starbucks, they used to have like a bottle of water with a big sign showing like a typical like mother carrying water and the little son carrying also what he could. And they said like, we are gonna help Africa build wells
Yeah.
in Africa. Like, I think one other tip is, if it's too vague, then it's just like they are using the keywords. Like, we're gonna help Africa. Like, where in Africa?
It's
And
important
like,
to like you see, there's no unless you're UNICEF or backed
True.
by some like a multi-billion fund.
yeah,
It's very very hard to tackle all fronts.
that's true. That's true.
Like a charity that says you never heard of, that tells you we're present in 120 countries, helping schools, helping this, helping.
Yeah.
You imagine how many teams you need to have on the ground.
Yeah, like
We
you
have
probably
right now. We have 5 spots: 2 in Yemen, 1 in Egypt, 1 in Lebanon, and 1 in Philippines.
Mhm.
And man, just handling
Just
those
handling
teams
those is a headache,
crazy
for sure.
especially in those countries. No banking system, very low access to internet. The people you're helping, they're in those countries, they're in the small villages of those countries. So like
No, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Another thing that I heard about here in Morocco is that, of course, I think this is almost like too ugly, maybe too dark, but some people who need help originally,
yeah
they never stop asking for help even after they were helped. Like, you give them a
Unfortunately.
tent, you give them money, you give them food, they put it away. When another caravan passes, oh, we need okay, because they say, hey, I can always use it for later, I can always
Yeah.
resell it, I've been
But
poor, my house is
but
destroyed.
can you blame them?
That's why I
if-
said I hesitate a little bit, because they are actually in need, but the food and everything is so scarce. They don't know when they're gonna have another help, so they just and sometimes they take the food that maybe would have gone deeper in down the road for other villages.
But that's the thing. It's very hard to quantify.
Absolutely.
This is why, like, they tell you, like, anyone, if you want to handle poverty in general long term, the solution isn't money. The solution isn't food. The solution isn't a lot of things. It's education.
That's
right?
true.
Like, high level of education, no poverty, because people understand, like that person doesn't even know how to think about how it would affect or if there's another solution, etc. Like, some people, they might think, oh, they take their easy way out or stuff like that, but even thinking about what to do or stuff takes a certain education, and a lot of people, unfortunately, in our country especially, lack that.
Yeah, no, education I think is key. I'll talk to you about it later offline. But I've been involved in education for quite some time, and I think donating education is the best thing you can donate in general. But anyways,
and it's something that doesn't, like, giving knowledge.
Yeah, it's never waste.
No, and it doesn't diminish the knowledge that you have.
Of course,
it's not like money. Like, I'm giving money, but it's
of course, now I have less. Exactly. It multiplies.
It multiplies,
and then he can also turn around and give it to his little brother or his cousin.
Yeah,
and then he kept
sometimes
spreading.
the versions are the same. Right?
That's true. But
the
if
Arabic
you give a book,
phone.
but maybe if you give a book, then he can read it,
No,
and then he can pass it around.
Education solves all issues.
For sure. I think it's definitely key. Now, there is a very interesting debate. And to be really honest, I saw this online and I'm not really sure how to react to it, what you think about it. So let me run it by you. And I know we talked about it before, but anyways, when some people have been criticizing very heavily the fact that, come on, influencers and all those people who take a camera and you go and you film children and people being desperate outdoors and like they lost everything, and you show them like, just if you want to do good, just do good. Stop like bragging about it, and stop like showing off and like, oh, we donated this. We don't look at those poor babies. Look at those poor people. Give them some privacy and some dignity, and like don't expose them like that. And of course, those people would say, yeah, but people need to know what's going on. So what side are you on?
It's a very complicated.
I'm ready to judge you, by the way.
So I'm going to tell you one thing.
Do you show poverty or do you not show poverty?
Well, unfortunately, it takes sometimes showing poverty to get people to move.
Yeah.
You don't get people by saying, hey, guys, there are children in Africa that don't have enough food or this, right? You need to, if you want to get people to move, you need to say, meet Musa, 3 years old. Haven't had a decent meal in 3 days. In 3 days. Stuff like that. That's what gets people moving. So you need to share a story. Now, when you share a story, you need to kind of, in the best of ways, protect the integrity of that person, show them not in the best light possible. But you would ask that the people that are really suffering, can I show you to get some funds? They'll probably say, man, show whatever you want. Give me what I need. Yeah. But that's the first point. Regarding the influencers, a lot of people ride the wave. Those guys on YouTube and stuff that are feeding the homeless and filming themselves and stuff. My position is that if down the line they do more good
than bad, and
if
they get some cloud on the way, that's fine.
If it's still a step forward, it's like people on a lot of subjects like religion and stuff like that say, oh, if I cannot commit 100%, I'm not doing it, so I'm just gonna do a lot of bullshit. No, you can just
do your best.
Do
forget the
one
rest.
step. Yeah. So it's kind of like the same way. Is it the best way of doing it? No. But if you're helping people, even if it's just for the cameras, and that person gets help, that's a win. So as long as there's the win and you protect the integrity of the people, to be honest, I would be inclined to say that I would encourage it.
Yeah, I was part of a charity that runs here in Rabat and in other cities down south, up north, etc. It's a pretty big one. And when I just moved here to Rabat, I decided, yeah, let me just help out, etc. So I was like idealist. I wanted like to help out with education. I thought we would have centers. Okay, let's listen to each one of them and just try to find a solution in the long run, etc. But it was just like we were driving around late at night, and we were giving them like food. Nothing fancy, rice, a little piece of meat, whatever, a piece of bread, yogurt, etc., a bottle of water. And we would like go around and give it to them. And the first or second time I did that round thing, they said I rode with I was in a car with the I would say the director or the CEO or whatever, like the head of the manager,
head
I guess.
manager.
Yeah, the head manager in Rabat Port.
Yeah.
And here is the thing: from the outside, we are all driving in very luxurious cars.
Yeah.
I mean, not very luxurious cars. We are not driving Bentleys, but for Morocco, we are all driving like $30,000-$40,000 cars. Like maybe 5 or 6 of us. You know how it looks like from the outside.
Yeah.
It looks like bad, man. And we are walking around. Excuse me, huya.
Kilimini here.
Kilimini giving you rice.
Yeah, well.
We just had a McDonald's, $100, 120 dirhams each, and we are giving you like 5 dirhams worth of food, and you have to say thank you. You're welcome, Saza. You know?
Yeah.
And here is the thing. She told me, oh, you're a big guy. They wouldn't say anything to you. Go ahead and take some pictures of them.
Yeah. Well, that's
And I said,
that's management for you.
that's management's 101. He said, yeah, they don't. Sometimes when we try to take pictures, they don't like it. And I turned around. From that moment, I knew she fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I knew I'm not
No.
going to stay here.
Like I told you, it's an ugly business, man.
It's an ugly business. Poverty is ugly.
Yeah.
I think helping
And even
poor people is very delicate. There is no right way to do
There
it.
was a time, thank God, now we have a video guy. But there was a time where I was doing like the videos for the campaigns we run.
Tough job.
And you have the raw footage,
Yeah.
right?
It's a tough job.
It's very tough. And I'm just watching. I can't even imagine the people that are actually there and saying, filming these stuff. And you know that it's necessary.
You
Because
have to make it extra emotional, black and
nobody
white,
gives
slow motion with the music, etc.
Gives a flying fuck.
If they don't see it.
If they don't see it. Like, so it's...
I guess you got to do what you got to do,
it's
right?
the game, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But
as long as your
know,
intentions,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as you know you're not stealing money, they are gonna get helped. You
but
feel
the line is very, 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 very thin.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
me and the founder, we often have discussions where we question ourselves. Like, are we doing right by this? Is everything like when we hire someone, was it really necessary to hire that person? Because like you're like, how much can you give?
yeah.
And at the end, it's all about your intentions and
And the results, the help that you provide at the end of the
course,
day.
because
I mean,
at the end, they're like, even if you help one person, like significantly, it means the world.
I think help needs to be, like I said, earthquake in Morocco. Let's just organize. I think it's better. The generosity of Moroccans is beautiful. I think it's in general in the majority of Moroccans have good intentions. Some people in their head, they scam the system and they justify it because they think, oh, I'm poor too. I'm not rich. I mean,
some scam to do with their own way.
yeah.
Like I know people like they're known
Yeah.
within the field that scam people, like that I don't know, like show you like pictures of children dying in this country because nobody gives a flying fuck about the other country. They
Yeah.
take those funds and they help out.
They have a parallel system there.
So it's delightful, but at the same time, it's a force of good. So it's always like intertwined and stuff. So
That's true. That's
but
true.
to come back to here, like it's all a question about the logistics. Like I told you, like a lot
Absolutely.
of good actions do more harm than good.
Absolutely. Sometimes
And-
the good actions can like create like end up being like bad or counterproductive just
Like
because it's
everything in
just not
life, you know,
organized.
like too much love can become a prison. Too much this can
You,
become.
you know, when I teach English, sometimes people tell me, "Oh, I only have 2 months. I want to be fluent." First of all, I say it's not gonna happen. Relax. Like even if I give them the image of like if you give a plant too much water because you think it's gonna grow too much, it's just not. You're just gonna
it's
kill
just
it.
gonna die.
So you just need the right amount. So usually I recommend like to be realistic.
So if you want to help out, I suggest
Find a serious organization.
yeah.
Me personally, honestly, I was about to give a bunch of clothes, brand new clothes, and also something that's before I mentioned that some people.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes. Which is
Well, let me finish that thought
Yeah.
so people can follow us. Some people give some clothes that you wouldn't give your fucking dog. Like all ripped and all like mushed and all like, oh, it was my favorite. No, the sneakers are still good, dude. They have a hole in it. Like,
Yeah.
give them some dignity.
No,
like,
and they-
come on, man.
and they give sorry. And they give a lot of dirty clothes.
Yeah, like
And a
just
lot of,
come
like,
on, man.
There
Like,
needs to be
you
a
think
bit
they're
of
gonna take it to
dignity,
the
you know,
washer and
like,
dryer? Like,
exactly.
come on, respect
So-
a little bit. Yeah.
So usually it's good. Even like brand new stuff is would be the best thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have like good clothes that could work, good jacket, or good thing like that. But you know, at least clean.
Yeah. You know what? My mom, she also works in charity. She has been doing that for a long time. And actually, the clothes that I decided to give here, I felt like it was a little bit shady, to be honest. And I didn't really have, like, you see, like, you walk around here, it's a pretty nice area, but you see, like, people, like, having just a bunch of clothes, people, like, folding them,
Yeah.
breaking them apart, etc. But there is no sign, no charity names, no official thing. I'm like, yeah, you guys all look good. I don't know. So the clothes will go to people who need them, but I will give them to my
Yeah,
mom,
but
and
at
who
the end
will
of the
make sure
day,
to
like,
give them to those people.
It's not.
It's not my job to be
it's not
investigators,
your-
etc.
It's not
Yeah.
your responsibility at
That's
some
true.
point.
That's
like,
true. But I feel like I would give them to
well,
my
it
mom.
is to some extent, to be honest. Actually, like
mean, you
need
have to
judge.
do a
You
little
need
bit.
You need to judge the situation, and with the knowledge that you have, right? Like,
Yeah.
you might get scammed, you might do this, but there are other ways to help. You know, like even though. Like you can give out blood, things like that.
That's
Even
true.
though
That's
that
true.
created also problems.
Yes, yes.
Because like everyone rushed to give blood in a way where like
but the blood have a life shell.
exactly
It's not gonna last forever.
not only that, but also the hospital staff that takes the blood can only take that much blood a day, and like hospitals were blocked, so
People
like
who needed help.
people
yeah,
are
it was
still
ju-
sick, you know,
yeah.
like besides that. So it's very
Yeah.
important to, you know, like be conscious of
Honestly,
the,
I
of
would
the
have
impact.
loved to be part of a crisis cell where we would work just on logistics and have like an official website and official phone numbers.
Yeah.
This is what we need. This is what we don't need. Okay, we need blood here now, today. No,
Well,
stop now. In 3
know
days,
what's
we need
funny?
more.
There's this guy that or this girl, I don't know,
Yeah.
that actually made a map of all the regions that were touched, all the regions that had help, the ones that didn't have help,
fantastic. There
and
you
stuff
go.
like that, and he kind of like put it out there for everyone.
The government should have
And-
been the first one doing that. Or a big association, a big charity
yeah.
that needs, because we need organization. Moroccans are very generous. We just need to put
Structure.
our heads straight and
Structure
like
and
a structure.
organ-
Logistics is
Yeah.
big.
Because to be fair with governments and stuff like that, it's normal that they take more time to move as a general thing, because like they're
the bureaucracy
the
and all that.
bureaucracy and all that stuff like is big. But I think like people just need to be okay with not being at the forefront of helping. Like help where you can, and make sure that you're not stepping on anyone's toes.
Absolutely. But again, like Joey Coco Diaz, the comedian, said, like, you don't need like 6,000 friends on Instagram or YouTube. Just give me 3 bad motherfuckers. And like I said, give
take
me
over
like
a country. Not that we want to. Not that we want to.
No, we don't. But like, if you have like a very small and dynamic team to put up a website and
it's
like
all
a phone
about,
number, it would take like half a day.
It's all about skill set and knowing
Right people
where
at the right time,
where you can
be
where
more
you have an
efficient.
added value, and accept when you don't, because that's also part of being educated and having knowledge, is knowing this is
not my field.
This is not my field, and I'm not helping.
Yeah, I'm gonna bother them more than I'm gonna help them.
I would love to see associations saying, like, now that there's the hype, it's all good, like and stuff. But like in 2-3 months, people saying, okay, we want to rebuild some houses, we want to
exactly
do that, because it's a long-term thing. Right now,
Absolutely.
Right now, when we're in immediate relief, but down the line, that's where like the significant help of getting back to a normal life can be done.
For sure, and I hope it doesn't die out. And to be honest, I think it will, because in 2 or 3 months nobody will hear about it. But this is where they really need help. Let's just try to help them rebuild. Let's try to. I mean, they will not need clothes forever. They will need now to rebuild their houses, their schools, etc. The transportation for schools, etc. Yeah, man.
And a little thought for Libya as well, that has been going through some catastrophic floods. And,
floods. I just read
the
that,
images are like satellite images are like
horrible,
man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we should consider like helping them long term, and let's just focus on being organized, whether it's in Libya or in Morocco. I think we will be so much more efficient if we organize better. And people who steal from, like even in Al-Hajj, which is like the biggest human gathering in the world, like people go there to pray. This is the most
religious,
and people steal there. So my mom was.
But at the end, like there would live. They will live with their conscience. You cannot be like policing everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you get scammed, but as long as your intentions are good, still,
yeah.
like we say in France, c'est le geste qui compte.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Petit je ne sais quoi.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was a great podcast. Thank you, Reda. Hopefully, we can get back on a horse and do that soon. I will see you guys later. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Subscribe,
like, comment, and don't forget to help Libya and Morocco.